abuse is so challenging to navigate. Many times the person is trapped in this vicious cycle of trauma. My first cousin took her life after experiencing years of abuse in the home. And we are these whole creatures, but we're often expected to partition our work lives and our personal lives. So as leaders, where do you draw the line between what's personal and professional, and how can we advocate for someone versus feel like we're being too intrusive?
I think, first of all, that's such a great question. And I think we're not people who are compartmentalized robotic creatures who leave a part of ourselves at the door when we show up to work, or another part of ourselves at the door when we show up at home. Like, we're whole human beings. But at the same time, everything comes with boundaries. And sometimes we do get afraid of, like, I don't want to cross a line. I don't want to make things more difficult. So I'm just going to do nothing. And what that does is it actually signals to people that, well, your issues are not welcome here. So you can't talk about this at work, or you can't talk about this in this circle. And it makes isolation more powerful, and it also creates more distance. So instead, I think what we should be doing is to reach out to people, but leave the decision and the ball in their court, letting people know that I'm here for you whenever you need. Not because I need to feel better about myself because I've just saved someone. It's about you. When I want to help out, like, I have a dear friend who's right now going through an abusive relationship, and I've been figuring out how I can help, how I can support. And I've had some conversations with her, and I've said, I'm here for you whenever you need. There's no pressure, because leaving abuse is it's not like an overnight thing. It's a journey. It took me 10 years and a lot of back and forth, and every person's journey is different. So it's really about, whenever you're ready to talk, I'm here for you. And from an employer standpoint, whether it's someone going through abuse or trauma, whether it's someone going through a mental health crisis, whatever you want someone on your team or one of your employees is going through, it's really important to remove that fear that if you bring this thing to work, or if you talk to us about it, you're going to lose your job, or you're going to somehow hinder your career prospects. And I'll give a quick example. Like, a few years ago, my daughter was going through a mental health crisis, and I was distraught. I was working at RBC at the time. My manager and my boss at the time, he's one of the people that I absolutely love and respect and admire so much. He's one of my closest friends today. But at that time, he was my new boss and who I was trying to impress. And I was just really afraid that, what if this comes to light and he might think I can't do my job, and my results, I was in a sales job, my results were getting affected. And one time we had our quarterly meeting, like a one-on-one, and he looked at my face, and just a few minutes ago, I'd gotten a call from my daughter's doctor, and it wasn't really a lot of, it was just a very stressful call. So I went to his office for my quarterly meeting, and he looked at my face and he instantly knew something was wrong. And he was like, what's going on? And he put aside all the paperwork and he's like, we can do this later. What's going on? And I suddenly started to cry. I just started to break down, and I told him what's going on. And I was so afraid. I mean, on one hand, I was saying all this, and on the other hand, I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? I need to shut up. Right? What's he going to think? I'm some kind of a basket case and I have so many issues and troubles and all of that. And he listened to me, and then he's like, you are amazing for being able to come to work while all this is going on. I don't know how you do it. Your clients are happy. You're coming in here with a smile on your face every day. Hats off to you. And we're going to figure this out. And he spent the next hour just researching supports in the community that I could access with me. We did it together. And he then said, what do you need support with? He didn't tell me to take time off. He didn't tell me what I needed to do. He asked me what I needed. And I said, I don't want to take time off because I love my job. And my job is the only source of confidence right now that I have, because I'm feeling pretty much like a failure as a mom. And I don't want to leave work, but I do need extra support for those days, which are a bit too hard, that my clients don't go neglected. So he assigned a trainee to me, to my portfolio, who would be there as a backup for those tough days. And he left the ball in my court. He's like, you tell me when you need support. You can just email me every day how it's going. If things change, let me know. Just keep me in the loop. There was no pressure. There was no like, need to do this or that. And he said, and just be reassured that this is not going to affect the fact that you're top talent, because you are. And that was such a gift. That was such a gift. And it really made everything. So as employers, the important thing is to remove that fear from people's minds and your team's mind that their human issues make them less viable less productive, less valuable.
Yeah.
And creating that psychological safety that it's okay to be human. It's okay to not be okay once in a while. And that doesn't mean we would talk about everything and anything, but at the same time, this whole idea of leave your personal stuff at the door, it's very outdated and very toxic.